Dr. Ebony Stone, and this is the Black Woman in the Corner Office. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Black Woman in the Corner Office. I'm your host, Dr. Ebony Stone, and I'm super excited about today's guest, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But if you want to continue to hear from these amazing guests and hear these amazing stories of just phenomenal Black women, make sure you click the button down below and subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. All right. So today's guest is, I'm going to call her an extremely inspiring part of my journey. So many of you know my journey and the fact that I wrote a book last year called The Power of the Pause that talks about my journey. And she was a very integral part of that story. And her name is Ashley Mustafaa. We're going to get into it. She is the editor and owner of Khloe's Thoughts Editing. Yes. And she turned her passion for reading into an entire business as she read and noticed that there were mistakes. And listen, I have read some books and said, who in the world edited this book? Or did anybody even proofread it, right? So she was definitely needed. She is the editor of my book. I've talked about her on previous episodes. And so we're going to get right into it. Welcome, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So listen, I just need to tell the audience right up front that if you hear me call her Khloe, her name is Ashley. I know her from Khloe's Thoughts Editing, right? So I might call her Khloe, but it's the same person, right?
I'm the same person.
I just want everybody to know I had the pleasure of actually meeting Khloe in person at my 50th birthday party, which was so cool. Thank you for attending.
That was amazing. It was a time too. That was a good time.
Thank you. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna turn 50, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
We did it my way. So let's do this. Let's start and tell the audience. Let's go all the way back.
Okay.
Right? All the way back to you graduated from high school, and she graduated from that other high school. If y'all know me, you know what I'm talking about. She graduated from other high school.
It's always that one person.
Listen, my son said yesterday, my Instagram, he was like, Mom, I'm not even going on Instagram. And I was like, why? What's wrong? He was like, Cass's graduation was today. And I'm so sick of hearing there are two types of people. They're not two types of people.
Cass.
So for all you Phoenix out there, Khloe did attend Renaissance High School. Yes. You graduated from Renaissance.
Yes.
And it's time for, as they say, the big grown-up life to start. So where did your journey start, and what did you think you would do when you left high school?
Yes, so my journey is pretty unique. I came out of high school very motivated, and I wanted to become actually an obstetrician. That was my goal. Like the entire 4 years of high school is I'm going to be a doctor. So I started out at Oakland University. And my sophomore year, I ended up pregnant with my oldest, Skylar. And so I had to drop out. And then that's when the real world, it hit me. So I had to start working. But all the while, one of my leaders was always reading. And so I was working, reading, taking care of my daughter. Like that was the majority of my 20s, actually.
What kind of work were you doing?
Retail. It was retail. So it was so pretty much just what I would call now for me in my late 30s, dead end jobs. But at that time, that was all that I could do. And I was good at doing it. So I was retailing, and I also worked at banks too. So that's kind of different from where I'm at now. But I was in the banking world.
Completely different. So I'm just going to ask you, from retail and banking, what was that like being a Black woman in those spaces? Did you find it to be different than any of your peers, or were you just focused on a different part of life?
At that time, I didn't feel the pressures of being a Black woman in retail or banking, but once I matured and I reflected upon all of that, banking was the hardest.
Mm,
Because it was the white counterparts that made you feel less than. And
mm,
black women, especially, we didn't have a voice. It was always what the person up there said. It's never, well, what are you saying to me? It was what someone else is saying.
yeah, yeah.
So it was hard then. I didn't realize it, but it created a lot of anxiety for me. But
Mm,
I didn't know what anxiety was back then. I just knew that when I worked with certain white males and females, I had this feeling in my chest that just wouldn't go away, and I would have a bad day.
yeah.
But
It's,
it was,
it's very interesting. I was in church on Sunday,
mhm,
and as the pastor was going through the sermon, part of what she was talking about was anxiety. And she was talking about how in 2012, I believe, anxiety rates went up. And of course, she wasn't talking about the workplace, and it continued to rise. And she was just talking about social media
mhm.
and how it is contributing to our anxiety. But I believe as Black women, we deal with a lot of it simply from being Black women. And then the rest is just kind of piled on the social media and being, because we are in spaces all of the time where all of us is not accepted. We can come, but we're kind of quieting
Yep,
ourselves.
yep,
You know?
yep. We shrink ourselves sometimes, and it's like, no, sis, don't do that. Be loud, be
Yeah.
boisterous.
Yes.
Let the room know that you are there.
Yes. Okay. So you're in these spaces and then you transition to entrepreneurship. How did that look? What made you do that and what was the journey like?
So I knew a lot of authors, and one of the authors I'm actually related to, they were starting a publishing company.
Okay.
And I used to always complain to her about the errors in the books. And I used to do what they call now D&D or DNF, did not finish. So
Okay.
I would just put the book down, like, okay, it's too many errors in here. And it was like noticeable errors. It wasn't just a comma missing or a period missing. It was like, oh my God, like what is the story about? Like where are we going with the story? And so she actually pulled that out of me when she asked me to do a sample edit. So I did a sample edit for her. And she told me, you did this as though you've been doing this for years. I'm
Mm,
like, oh, this is my first time doing this. But I've always had like an English grammar. I've always been good in those areas. Like I was the A student in English and grammar my whole life. So that's how I started. I was their editor and I worked with a lot of different authors. And I just started building from there.
okay.
And then I decided to branch off. Once they closed out their publishing company, I'm like, okay, no, this isn't just a side hustle for me. Like, I really feel the passion behind me helping authors amplify their voice. So that's how I birthed Khloe Starts Editing in 2013.
Okay. So you've been at it for a while. And so I want to get into the entrepreneurship thing because everybody is chasing the bag, right? And
Mhm.
everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But baby,
It's
the
hard.
entrepreneur life is not for the faint of heart. But before we get into that, let me just say I love people like you that got A's in English. That was not me. It was not
Love
me.
it.
Listen, I will tell you, I was preparing for the GMAT
Mhm.
and I found errors in a GMAT book and a math problem, not in English. That was not my thing. I can write.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to know where the commas are supposed to be, look, where the
Nope,
commas
I'm not
are
your
supposed to
girl.
be, I'm not, you don't want to call me. So you decide to take this leap into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about the obstacles that maybe you came up against.
So, one of the obstacles, and I still face this obstacle to this day, is a lot of people are not trusting of Black editors because
Mm,
in the editing world, it's white face, to be honest, and it's a lot of women. So they feel as though they do it better, they do it more efficiently. This is where I'm going to go. So a lot of it took me a while to build my clientele because people were not trusting at all. Like, oh no, she Black, she's unprofessional, she's not going to be timely. Those were the stereotypes around being a Black editor. And then on top of that, I'm fighting what we call Facebook editors. Those are the ones that just think they know it all and they're charging these crazy rates. And it's like, no, you're not really, because editing is more than just proofreading, and people don't understand that. And
Yeah.
so it's like, no, you're probably just a proofreader. You're not an actual editor. But
Yes.
I don't, I am a fighter. If I'm nothing else, I am a fighter and I love to prove people wrong. I am this may not be right, but I am the I told you so kind of person. So, and I'm going to show you better than I can actually tell you.
Yep. Me too. Me too. My husband literally says, and I think maybe a lot of us are. My husband says, I don't see the fire ignite in you until somebody doubts you.
I'm
And they doubt you, and you're like, oh, okay, I got something for you.
and I could be part of my because I'm into the whole astrology thing. I am a Leo. I'm a fire sign. So listen, you test me, you're going to find out. You're going to
Yeah.
find out.
I love it. So, sidebar, let me tell you guys, Khloe taught Ashley taught me the difference between the four different stages of editing, because in my mind editing was just proofreading
Mhm.
until I got to researching and writing this book, and I really do not believe it could have been what it is today had I not had your assistance.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I first got your first edits back,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, I can do this. So if you are writing a book and you need an editor, you already have your manuscript done. Don't come, halfway, but it's done. And
Mhm.
you need an editor, definitely call Khloe, because she will get you together and
Together.
do it in a way that doesn't make you feel bad. Because I was just like, I'm gonna turn this over, and when it comes back, I had um memories of, like, I would get my papers back in school and that
Mhm.
red pen.
Yes.
I just knew that's what was coming back. But the interesting thing you said, and again, I don't know, because it's not a world that I live in, that people don't trust Black editors. And that's so shocking to me, because when I started my journey, I was like, I want to work with Black women, right?
Mhm.
I'm in a space now where I'm able to make those decisions and say those things. And it's not because I have anything against anybody else. I just want to support my sisters, right? So
Yep.
I was like, I am looking for Black women to work on this project with me. And so I only interviewed Black women. So it was shocking for me
So,
to hear you say, like, it's mostly white women. Do you find, as you continue in the industry, that that continues, or does your experience kind of eliminate that for you?
um, I feel like it continues. That's something that's going to be around for a very long time until we keep fighting for ourselves and showing up in places where we don't belong and
Right.
we show our expertise. Like when I go into consultations, I speak with a lot of authors that don't know, okay, no, there's 4 stages to the editing like they're not privy on it. So I make sure that I break that down in the most professional way possible. Even in the comments that I put on the manuscripts, I make sure that I speak in a tone that's not to where you have to be on the defense. Like, why is she talking to me like this? Like, I'm very eloquent with the way I speak to my authors.
Yep, and I can attest to the fact that if there is a change that you're like, I don't know that I want to make that change, the
Mhm.
answer is, okay, this is your book. How do we do it so that there are no errors,
Mhm.
and people will keep reading? So let's say you're talking to a um, a young woman, a young sister that's looking to get into editing. What advice would you have for her right now?
I would tell her to stay the course. Make sure you know what it is that you're wanting to do. So make sure you have the knowledge of the editing world. You don't have to know about publishing because I get questions about that all the time. And I'm like, that's not what I do. So I cannot advise on it. But just know your stuff and be confident when you are having these conversations with authors, because I actually mentor another editor.
Mhm.
She's under my wing, and I did it at no cost. Like, I could easily just charge her, like, you asking me all these questions and needing advice, I'm going to charge you for it. But I'm like, no, like, she's trying to get her own company off the ground, so I'm going to help her any way possible. And I actually have a friend that's my proofreader. Like, I saw that skill in her and I pulled it out of her. Like, look, sis, you about to come work with me.
Yes.
She's been with me for years.
And I love the fact that you're mentoring and not charging, right? I believe wholeheartedly, listen, that you should know your value, charge your value, add
Mm-hmm.
tax, that whole thing. But we also have to be able to give back. And it's so incredibly important that we do that. I love that you know where you are not the strongest, or it's not your world, right? When you talk about publishing,
Mm-hmm.
interestingly enough, the self-publishing coach that I worked with said the same thing about editing. She was like, "You don't want me editing your book. Let me, let me help you, right?"
Yeah.
So, but all of this is entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
and so I want to dive into that a little bit because entrepreneurship is the thing right now, right?
Yes.
Everybody is, as they say. My husband told me, like, you don't even sound right when you try to use slang for today, but everybody chasing the bag, right? And I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, and these Facebook editors or just Facebook entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Instagram, social media entrepreneurs, like, you can make $1 million in 2 weeks. And anybody who's an entrepreneur knows that is highly unlikely. It's
Mm-mm.
more likely that you're gonna have some struggles. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey and then advice you would have for budding entrepreneurs.
So my journey, so I did not realize how much time I would take with editing. So it's not like a 9 to 5. So even if I start my day with breaks, lunches, go do something, go do the every time I can go to a whole event and I come back home and I'm in my office and I'm editing when I know I need to take the time off, but it's just like a constant thing. Like, my brain, it doesn't turn off. So I need people to know it's not a 9 to 5. It's a 24-hour job. You're
Yes.
going to work on if you really want your brand that much, you're going to work on it 24 hours until it could possibly drain you.
Yeah.
It could possibly drain you. But when I first started out, it was so crazy because I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that it was 4 styles of editing.
Mm.
So I was doing the developmental, the line editing, the copy editing, the proofread for like $200
Oh my
on
goodness.
80,000 word count books.
You were
Yes,
working yourself to death.
I was working myself to death. Do you hear me? And it wasn't until I got with a branding strategist where she's like, and then I was also attracting, I was trying to come out of just doing urban fiction. I wanted to do the romance. I wanted to do the nonfiction. I wanted to enter different genres, but I kept attracting just the urban fiction, the gritty books. And I wanted
Mm.
to expand that. So I linked up with another Black woman, my branding strategist, and my rates went up. My rates went up, and it justified the work that I put into these manuscripts. I don't just do 2 hours on one manuscript. I may spend 4 or 5 hours on a manuscript, but I'm charging my worth now.
Yeah.
So it balances out. And then I started attracting different white clients, Asian clients, older clients. I was getting everybody. And that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. I think you bring up a great point, and it is what I always call the business behind the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to my daughter about it. My daughter is a hairstylist, and no matter what you do, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're an editor, a hairstylist, I have a whole different business, that has nothing to do with any of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do some real estate investing. No matter what you do, there is business behind the business,
Absolutely.
marketing, accounting, all of those things. And if you try to do them all yourself, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot, right? Your strategist is like, why are you charging $200? Like,
Mm-hmm.
increase these fees. And I would bet that your fees were low enough that they were turning off
It
some
was.
folks that could use your services, but they were like, at $200, she ain't doing what I need her to do.
Exactly. And I was doing everything and then more, like, and
Yeah.
then more. So it was just like, no, I'm really qualified. Like, I got this in the bag, but
Right.
I just didn't know my worth. And when she broke it down to me, I'm just like, so I've been cheating myself, you know. We built a website, so I had to make my rates make sense. So I
Yeah.
had to have the website, I had to have the consultation, I had to have all of these elements to justify why I'm charging $2,000 for a full edit.
Yes. I remember building a website and the woman I was working with saying, "Well, we need to talk about color theory." And I was like, I just want to build a website." She was like,
No.
"You don't go build your website based on your favorite colors. That is not what you do."
Yep.
But again, not my world, right? And so here's a question that's a little off, but I want to make sure, since we're in this realm of entrepreneurship, that we talk about it. Entrepreneurship ain't free. You got to be willing to invest. Would you say heavily?
I think so. Because like excuse me, like you said, you need other people in the pot. And I am a little bit controlling and especially with my brand, but I realized I needed people to help me. So I needed somebody to build that website for me. I needed somebody to say, "Hey, look, your rates are horrible. This is how we're going to improve your rates," and then justify it. I needed somebody to do the templates to post on social media. That's the only part of my business that I'm hands on with. So if you ever hear me talking back to you in the comments or even the posts I make, that's me because
Yeah, I can tell.
I want people to hear my voice and know me. So handing that over to somebody else, I'm like, they ain't gonna talk like me. So I don't think, mm-mm.
Yeah, you like, I want to do this myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but that doesn't mean that you don't get assistance if you need them, right? I was talking to someone just today, like, hey, tell me, they were talking about, someone saw their episode and they got clients from their episode of this podcast. And I was like, okay, I start asking questions like, I don't want to get too deep in, but tell me where they are. Like, what state are they in?
Mm-hmm.
What's the age group, right? Because you're always looking at your analytics and that
Yep.
type of thing, and getting someone to help you with that. So I don't know myself, but I can gather the information and get with someone because I'm like you. I don't want anybody. I want to talk to people myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to understand the behind the scenes.
Yep.
Okay, so from obstetrician to editor, which is
Mm-hmm.
really interesting, but
Great.
you go from obstetrician to retail to banking. Now you're editor, entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Business is booming. Like I'm following you on website, on social media, and I know that business is booming. And you're like, okay, well, books are closed for this month. Books are
Yep.
closed for this quarter, right? That has got to be an amazing feeling.
It is because there were times where I would only get one or two manuscripts a month. You know what I mean? And you look for your business to assist you with paying bills or just living the life that you want to live or even investing into your business more.
Mm.
And there were times where I was taking payments via PayPal, which is like an absolute, if any editor is taking payments via PayPal or Zelle or Cash App, red flag. But I was doing
Mm.
that in the beginning and my business it wasn't booming. I had to get to a level to where now if I have to pay my car note, I can pay it from my business account. If I want to take a trip, I can do it from my business account. So now it's lucrative and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
I'm very
My,
grateful for it.
my CPA has said we're not running businesses off of Cash App, right? And I will say, I never even thought about, and this is probably so you don't realize this, and I've thrown her name out there before, but my self-publishing coach, working with the two of you
Mm-hmm.
in the process of bringing this book to life
Mm-hmm.
made me see some things that I was not even prepared for, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, wait a minute. I can't take coaching clients' money by Cash App and Zelle. What am I? So I was like, what they using? I was like,
Yeah,
Khloe using Honeybook. Let me go check out Honeybook,
I
right?
love money, but
Yep, and it's helped, right? Because those aren't things I thought about behind the scenes, right? I had coaching programs. I do group coaching and individual coaching, but I was just like, okay, yep, how you want to pay? We can do Zelle. We can, no, we cannot.
And
You're going to have to pay the business, right? Those are all things that you need to think about, like
yeah,
the contracts. And I think I may have shared with you, I was driving myself crazy trying to get contracts out manually and get this done manually. Oh, I got to remember to send this follow-up email. I was
mhm,
spending so much time in the weeds. I couldn't even do the coaching work,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
yeah. Even like Honeybook made it easier for me to file my taxes because they had already sent that 1099 to the IRS. I just had to do the filing. QuickBooks, I learned because at first I was paying my proofreader through Zelle. So now she gets a direct deposit from me. It's no Zelle is gone. It's no direct deposit. Like that's how you gonna get your money. So
Yes, absolutely. I love it. And there's so many tools out there. I'll drop some of the tools that we use in the comments. But even I remember trying to set up the selling of the book
mhm,
behind the scenes and figuring out how to do it and learning, like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do with this sales tax? And then somebody was like, look at
mhm,
Shopify. Shopify is going to set the sales tax aside for you and all of that. So there's so much that you have to consider. Um, so for all you entrepreneurs out there, go ahead, rewind, look in the comments for all the stuff,
yep,
get that stuff set up early. Don't spend hours like I did trying to manually do stuff that can be done automatically for you, or editing books for $200 like Khloe did before she learned. Like, learn from us.
ooh,
So, Khloe, you've been through all of these phases and now your business is booming. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. I happen to know that aside from editing, you also got a podcast out there called The Plot Thickens. So, talk
yes.
to us a little bit about that.
So I felt like I needed to give my authors more, or even if they're not my authors, just anyone out there, the knowledge about the whole editing and writing process. So I had been wanting to start this podcast for about a year and a half, but I'm very introverted. So I'm just like, and I had the imposter syndrome of nobody's going to listen to me. Like, they don't want to hear me. But I'm like, you know what? It's a faceless thing. I could just talk it to the mic and that be that. So I started the Plot Thickens about 2 months ago. I'm still building that platform, but I'm confident that I'll get to where I'm trying to go with it. But it was just important to me because people gatekeep a lot in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like some things people can Google and find the answer to. So why not just give it straight to them in layman terms and to help make them better?
Yes,
That's my
I
goal.
don't understand the gatekeeping
Me either.
everywhere because I just, I mean, being a woman of faith, being a Christian woman, I just believe what God has for me is for me.
Hmm.
So gatekeeping, I just don't get. But
Yeah,
that's a whole nother story for a whole nother podcast. So podcasts is out there. Are there any other things that you got coming up?
Right now, no. I actually have a meeting with my branding strategist. I'm sure she's gonna give me a list of homework of things that I need to do because she always do. But
Okay.
right now, the podcast is the biggest thing because, like I said, I've been wanting to do it for about a year and a half. So right now, my focus is building on that while managing my editing load
Okay. Tell us where the podcast can be found.
on Spotify. It's on Spotify and Amazon Music.
Okay, perfect. So y'all go listen to The Plot Thickens, and I also am going to tell you that Khloe is being very humble. If you are a writer and you want advice, follow her on all her social sites. She gives the most amazing advice and
You.
just inspiration. Like, what you doing? Go write that book, and I'd be like, oh, let
Like,
me go write.
see.
I'm
And I
like,
feel
"Oh,
that people like that personality more. Like, go
yeah,
right.
yeah. Like, this is your reminder to go write those words, right?
Yeah.
And so again, I've said it before, but thank you so much for the help with me and my book. Book two will be coming soon. It'll be a little different, but I'll be back. I'll be
I
back
can't
real
wait.
soon.
You're right.
Um, so we want to follow you on all of the socials. We want to make sure that we go listen to The Plot Thickens and continue to listen. Make sure you're subscribing so you don't miss an episode. And before we get out of here, Khloe, I got one last question. I'm sorry, Ashley. I told y'all I was going to
It's
do that.
okay.
Right. I got one last question for you. And it's just a question that I think is kind of fun and I love to ask people. If someone was going to make a movie of your life,
Mm-hmm.
what would the title be and who would play you if you know?
Um, what would the title be? That's a hard question.
I thought that one would be an easy one for you.
Mm-mm.
No.
I would say The Crazy World of Ashley Mustafaa. And I would have Taraji Henson play me because I feel as though her personality is very strong, but there's a very soft side to her. And I loved her when she played in Hidden Figures. I can't think of the character she played, but she overcame so many obstacles. And I felt like her story was mine, dropping out of school because she was, pregnant and balancing her career, home life, the kids, all the while showing up as this Black woman that was often doubted
Yeah.
by other people. And every time she proved them wrong, like, no, I'm fit for this. Like I'm here. I can do this. So
Yes.
I'll definitely have her play me.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that too.
Spicy. Like, although I'm introverted, I'm very when I'm around my family, I'm the spicy child or the spicy sibling. So I love the spice that she gives in all of her characters.
Yes, I could see that too. I could totally see her playing you. I can see the similarities,
Yep.
right?
Girl.
So amazing.
And
The
she's a girl's girl, and I'm a girl. I am a girl's girl. Like I love my girlies. Like I'm
yeah,
such a feminist. It's almost probably nauseating to some people. I don't care. Like
yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
for I'm here for all women, but I'm here for my sisters.
Yes, yes. I'm here for my sisters. I love it. I love it. Well, Khloe, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I have had a blast. I've just had a blast getting to know you over the last year and a half or so. I hope that if you are in the process of writing a book, that you will reach out to Khloe and make sure that you get some consultation. You definitely want her editing your book. I can tell you that now. She will walk you through every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Um, Listen to the podcast, check her out on social media. And until next time, you guys keep spreading that Black girl magic on everything you do. I'll see you next time.
Yes. Bye.